Welcome back, Caddy Corner, episode 90. I'm Austin.
And I'm Caleb.
And we're back for the 90th time.
How crazy is that?
It honestly is pretty nuts.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like 90, I don't think.
No.
I don't know. 90 weeks, though. How about that? Shout out to us. So this is, obviously, semester just kind of closed. Isn't that kind of crazy to think that, like, last week we were in school?
Yeah.
And then, like, now we're just not anymore for the time being? Super weird to think about. And I just had that epiphany now, so whatever. But we're just going to talk about college for a second, for like however long this podcast is. Just kind of what my notes literally say are reflecting on college so far. So we're just going to talk about that for a bit. If you're going into college, this is a good podcast to listen to. If you're already there, let us know if we have terrible takes or if we have good takes, or if our takes are the worst or if they're the best, or whatever the case may be. So with that being said, rate and review the show, like, comment, and subscribe. Click all the links in the description and send the show to your family and friends. And Caleb, take it away.
All right. Yeah, so we've been in college for a while now. In school in general for a while now.
Dude, like ever.
Yeah, majority of our lives, been in school for 15 years.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm 20. I've started kindergarten whenever I was 5 years old.
Dude, that's insane.
Started preschool whenever I was 4.
Sure.
So, I've been at it for a while. And so, yeah. My list is kind of just like some stuff that I've really taken away from this semester.
Yeah, sure.
This past semester that we just went in, because it was like super unique and super fun and not like any semester that I've ever had before. And the first thing is just you got to be prepared to adjust. I went into this semester going to a new school, like I was transferring into. Had no expectations really of what was going on. Went to class for the first week and a half, still didn't know what was going on really. And then it was like, boom, this is what you're doing. So it was like I had to be ready for that, even though I wasn't ready for that at the time. It was real scary whenever we got the project that we were working on, because I was like, oh, I've been out of it for a while, haven't done a super project ever.
Yeah,
and
especially not like a real one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was crazy, and going in with no expectations, like I don't know if that was the play or not. That's just kind of what I did, and so whenever it came down to it, just if I could have been able to adjust faster to like a new style of school or whatever, because whenever I went to Catawba, I was sitting in classes like it was RCCC, which is not the case. It's different. I wouldn't say it's like crazy different.
That was my follow up to that. Yeah.
But it is different a little bit. Yeah. Just in like where you are and like the environment and stuff.
Sure.
It just feels different, and so like that aspect of it was different. And I did adjust to that pretty quickly, but just like the work style I think was completely different, like nothing that I've ever done before, and so. Yeah, just always be prepared to adjust, be able to make changes like on the fly, because it's not just going to be like exactly what you expect all the time.
Yeah, especially whenever it's like new. You know what I mean? Because it's like different for me, I guess, because I sort of knew. I mean, not in the way that like the way that everything panned out is a once in a lifetime kind of experience, I think.
Yeah.
In the way that like school kind of works, but like. Another thing too that you would have had to like think about that I didn't have to think about is like I knew we could turn stuff in on the last day of class and it was like no big deal.
Oh yeah.
I knew that was like not a problem. Like I never even looked at like my grades ever in any of my like actual like major rec classes and stuff because I knew it was all going to be fine at the end of it. But like you didn't, because how would you have known? Right. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, and that is something else I think is really interesting too. Is like. And it's something that I have on my list is like going to a small school like we do. And for me, like having basically the same declared major since I got there. Like I know my professors, they know me, they know what I'm able to do. Hopefully they hold me to some kind of standard. But I also like know what that working relationship looks like. So I just kind of know what it's like going to my DMP classes, which I think is a super plus. Yeah,
that was honestly probably the weirdest thing for me is like going to school. And like this whole year, I'll only have 2 professors the whole time.
Is that really it? Yeah, that legit is.
Yeah. So, that was like weird. That was something new that I'd never like had before. I had never had a repeated professor like
ever
at RCCC, you know. And so
did you? Well, I guess you had like different kinds of classes, I guess too.
Yeah.
Gen Eds is that way anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that was weird. But after that, like now that I do like know the instructors, because at the beginning I had no idea. Like I didn't know them, they didn't know me, so it was like blindness, you know, going on. And so yeah, once everything got settled in and stuff, yeah, it all worked out. It was good.
Yeah, it'll definitely will work out. I think that the most general thing that's so important for every school year that you have to do, and we've talked about it a ton on the podcast, so we'll be brief, but like you just got to have a routine. Without a routine, I truly don't know how anybody does like school effectively at all. I don't know, because when you go to college, you have so much more free time in comparison to high school that you're going to have to use for something. In theory, you're using it for homework, but you're probably not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you also can't just do nothing for whatever amount of time that you're not in class. You know what I mean? You have to figure out a way to be productive at the same time. Luckily for us in this last semester, it was super easy to stay productive in our not in class time because we kind of were just editing a movie, you know, some slight. but seriously though, like it was easy in this semester to fill up a schedule and stay productive and stay busy. For me at least, like my whole life runs a lot smoother whenever I'm busy. I don't like having like a lot of downtime, especially downtime that I don't know what to do with. And so having a routine always at least helps me like stay dialed in and stay focused and help you keep going towards whatever the goal is that while you're in college. So having a routine for me has been like a cheat code as a student. I think that this semester kind of exemplified that, and that we came out with a movie. And so it's a real thing. I think it's super important. You got to have a routine.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. My next point is just be willing to take risks. You know, college is like a weird time for everyone, I think. You know, and we were lucky because we knew what we were gonna do. Like we knew what we were going to college for before we got there. You know, and we stuck with that, and so that makes it a lot easier. But for some people, choosing like your major is not
right.
Something
some people are at this point in college though too, and like don't know.
Yeah,
isn't that horrifying?
That, I mean, it would be for me.
That's what I mean.
It would be for me for sure. But like, yeah. So like, college is a weird time because some people just don't know what they want to do. Some people are in college and they don't know what they want to study, you know, and all this kind of stuff. Which, good for you, I guess. But for me, like, if I wasn't in the shoes that I was in, and I like say I'm a junior, and I'm a undeclared major, you know, I just don't know. Like what I would be doing is I would just be trying everything, you know, just like trying everything, you know, taking risk, you know, because at the end of the day, you know, you just have to do the stuff before you can figure out if you enjoy to do the stuff or not, you know. So if you are, I don't even know a good example, but say like you're sick at bowling, you know, and your college has a bowling class, you know.
Get up in there.
Why would you not take that class?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, just take risk, because the higher the risk, the higher the reward. You know, you hear it all the time, and I really do think that that's true. Because if you just take like us, for example, I was going to be going to nursing school, you know.
3 years ago, dude.
3 years ago. That was the plan.
Yeah.
I was doing all the stuff. I was a CNA.
He was loving nursing fundamentals in high school. It was his favorite.
I absolutely loved it.
Dude, he was raving about it. It was insane.
And the only reason that I wanted to do that was because at that point in time, I still loved to make videos. But whenever I was in that place, I didn't know if there was going to be like work around to be able to support my life, you know, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to get a job, or if I was going to be able to make any money, or all this stuff, the stuff that you worry about, which is a good thing to worry about. But then it was just, I had to take the risk, you know. I had to take the risk to just go for it, you know, go to school for it, and see how it works out, because me sitting right here right now, I still don't know how it's going to work out, but I have a pretty good feeling.
Yeah.
But still don't know how it's going to work out. But just I was able to take the risk, and I just did it, and I just threw all the stuff that I had done in the past that I didn't enjoy to do, that I didn't love, that I was just doing because I knew that I was going to have job stability, and I was going to be able to make money, and I was going to be able to support my family and all this stuff. But now I'm doing something that I actually enjoy, like truly love. And whenever that happened, it was just like everything clicked. Everything fell into place, and now it just makes sense. So you just got to be willing to take the risks.
Yeah. Yeah, I have one that's very similar to that, kind of towards the bottom of my list, which I'll just go through right now, which is like, because of how college is, like, you have your free time, you have access, and you have like connections to people who theoretically are also interested in similar things. You're able to take the risk, sacrifice the time, sacrifice the whatever, in order to like hopefully make something that's bigger than what you could have made like by yourself, or invest more time into something that you wouldn't have been able to otherwise. For us, that was the documentary that we like just did. That would not have been able to be done under any circumstances without collaboration and the like ability for like our department to allow us to do it, like where we didn't do any classwork other than the documentary.
Yeah.
And whatever else. But if you're like a business major, why can't you get together with like some of your boys and make some kind of business, whatever it is that you're interested in, with all the time that you have extra in college, alongside the like resources and the connections of whatever college you go to? Why can't you do that? You know, if you are in like singing class, why can't you make some sort of quartet? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Get some singing going on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't you? But I mean, like, even still, to do those things that are bigger than yourself or whatever the case may be, you have to be willing to sacrifice the time, sacrifice the energy, sacrifice the whatever in order to do those things, which is a risk, you know, because maybe you have to take like hours off of your job every week to do whatever it is that you do, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That you're like are pushing towards. And so college is a great time for that, because like I said, you never is there a time whenever you're like this young where you have so much access to things. You know what I mean? Even in our case, like we go to a small school with like not that much access to things that like directly help us as like video guys, but like we still made something cool.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And like we still have like 3 more semesters to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can do it, is the point. So you have to be willing to take those risks and just make something that's bigger than yourself. I think college is a really good time to do that. And I think that's what the documentary was for us. And that's why I think it's interesting to like bring up. So
yeah, 100%. My third point is to put in the work. You know, college is a time where you're only investing in yourself. You're paying to go to school most of the time only for yourself, only to benefit yourself, so that you can eventually get a job, or so that you can learn. I don't know why people go to college other than to get a job, but you're just investing in yourself. And so whenever you think about it like that, and you're thinking about, oh, I spend this much money in class, you know, or to go to class, it really makes you think about how much work you should really be putting in, you know, because the last thing that you want is to go into debt for college, but then flunk out of college, you know.
terrible move.
It would suck so bad. And that is, you can not do that if you just put in the work. College is not that hard. It is for some people.
And it also depends on your major, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of the audience.
Right. That's why I said for some people.
Yeah. But
college,
at the same time, you know what you signed up for.
Yeah. I'll speak for myself.
Yeah.
College for me is not that hard.
Yeah.
But I think that really comes down to, I'm doing something that I actually enjoy to do. So even though it is hard, I don't care that it's hard, because I would want to do it anyway. But that's kind of besides the point. But you just got to work hard. You know, if you're doing your general education classes, you're taking classes that you don't care about. You're taking statistics, and you're taking English and Spanish and all the stuff, science, that you don't care about at all. You only have to take it so that you can graduate. But instead of being like, oh, well, I don't really feel like taking this class, like I only need a D to pass or whatever, like, don't do that, because then that's going to rub off on you. It's going to rub off on all your other classes, and then your work that you give is not going to be up to your standard, and and then eventually that'll transfer over to your job, and you're not going to be working as hard there. That's just like an unhealthy habit that I think a lot of people get into, especially whenever you're taking your general education classes, because it is stuff that you don't care about, and it is stuff that is just like, man, I don't want to take statistics. But if you work hard in statistics and you actually try in statistics, then it'll only benefit you in the long run, because there's a reason that you have to take those classes. They don't just make you take those classes just for funsies. They make you take those classes because it makes you like a better human, and it makes your work ethic a lot better.
Yeah. Another thing too, to like go along with that I think is interesting, that people I don't think of a lot, is that the sooner that you declare your major, the more that you can tailor those general education classes to make sense.
Yeah.
Because like, let's say that you're a business major, it doesn't make sense for you to take like geometry. You could take like accounting instead, and then maybe that counts as a math. I don't know how our school works or how other schools work. But the point is that you might be able to take a math class that like makes more sense for the way that you are going forward in your studies. So it's worth considering that. For us, it doesn't necessarily matter that much because no math really matters for us, except for like focal lengths. And if that's 1.5 times the for the crop and stuff, but
right.
But you can do that, so it's worth considering. Yeah, and so alongside with putting in the work, I think that what college is super good for is allowing you to figure out and build like whatever it is that your workflow is going to be like. Figuring out what you like and what you don't like to do and how you work the best. Maybe you're somebody who likes to sit down and work, have a dedicated space to work, which is like how you and I are. We have our desk. I really don't ever work outside of my desk ever, and that's kind of intentional. Just so that way I have a cutoff point, I'll sit in a timeline all day, or, I love doing math homework, so I'll just sit there and do it forever, I'm talking weeks straight, no moving, but some people aren't like that. Some people like to, I don't know, like in the bed laptop mode. Could not be me. But if that's you, that's cool. But figuring out what, like the best way that you work, maybe you're somebody that likes to go mobile and work in like the library or work inside of like a coffee shop or whatever the case may be. I think that it's super good to like experiment with things like that. And it's also super important to experiment with like your gear, what you actually like to use and what you don't like to use. 3 years ago, we were active iPad haters. We're now both fully subscribed, and it is like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
So in different way, like you don't think about whenever you're somebody who works from a computer, which is what you do as a student a lot. And for a lot of people, they're coming from like not working on computers, learning like what kind of mouse do you like and what kind of keyboards do you like. These are like really powerful and important things that you like don't think about, but your hands matter and like your workflow matters. And it's super important to like streamline stuff and make stuff efficient, because you just save time and it works better. I'm now a better student because I have this. And that's like not even a question to me. You know what I mean? Like it was totally worth whatever the case may be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's super important to kind of do that and experiment with that, and just learn what your workflow is. Because then that way, like if you work a remote job in a year, which is like who knows how many more remote jobs there are going to be whenever you like look back at it and stuff, then you'll like know how to do a remote job because you've done it because you were a student. You've worked at home before. So
yeah,
I think it's important to try and do that and try and learn that, and experiment and have fun. It's something that I have a lot of fun with, at least. So
yeah. My final point is actually no. I'm gonna add one real quick that I didn't have written down. Create a portfolio, like while you're in college. I think in college is the best place to experiment with whatever you're doing. For us that makes a lot of sense, and I don't know if this even applies to any other like college students.
Definitely business. Business. Whatever. There's other ones.
Yeah. So whenever you're in college and you're doing assignments and you're doing all this stuff that at the time you may think is not beneficial to you, or you might think it's dumb or like just a waste of time, busy work or whatever, think about how you can use that in a portfolio, because then you can start being really intentional about everything that you do, and then you'll start turning stuff in and doing assignments 110% better, because again, you're investing in yourself. So everything that you do in college, like the whole time, just figure out how you can use that for yourself. If you're doing a project and you have an open-ended prompt or whatever, do something that is going to be beneficial to you. Do something that you're going to be able to use in the future. Don't do something that you think is just going to be easy to submit.
Right. No Google Slides.
Yeah, easy to do, easy to submit, easy to get a grade on, those kind of things. Do something that's actually going to be beneficial to you, because I think that will help you out a ton in the long run, because for us as creative people, portfolios really matter.
Mm-hmm. It's like the only thing that matters.
Yeah, at the end of our college, we're not going to go apply for jobs and hand them our piece of paper that says that we're DMP majors and say, here you go, we did it. Let us get a job.
It'll work for like the bottom levels. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But whenever we go get a job, like, we're not just gonna hand them our paper. We're gonna say, here's our portfolio. Here's what we made while we were in college. Mm-hmm. Like, this is what we've done. This is what we're good at. This is what we can do. And then that's whenever conversations about like jobs start happening.
Totally.
And so you have to think about that because it's super important. But now my for real last point is just enjoy it while it lasts, because it goes by so fast.
Yeah, dude, it's been moving. It's insane. Yeah.
College is so fun. For me, I love college. I'm gonna be sad whenever it's over, because I've had a lot of fun. I've got to do a lot of things, a lot of cool stuff. Got to meet a lot of cool people, made a lot of friends and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, it's the best. But it moves. It moves by so fast. I mean, you're only there for 4 years most of the time. So really, like, enjoy it, take it in, be intentional with the stuff that you're doing, and just make it count, because you'll look back at your 4 years that you spend in college and you either be like, man, that was like the best time of my life, or you look back and you say, man, I should have done it different. And you don't want to be the guy who says, I wish I would have done it different.
Definitely not. Yeah, it's super insane how like quickly it moves by, and the amount of like things that you do, because I don't think that it's like easy, at least for me, to like look back at like what I've done in college, like really at all, and like think about it like that was like 2 years ago or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I'll be able to, when it's all said and done, be like, I did a good job there. Yeah. You know what I mean? I can't do that now. It's like you're living in it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can't like overanalyze and like think about stuff like that, I don't think, whenever you're like living in it. You know what I mean? But yeah, it definitely moves. It definitely does move. You think you're going back ever? Like, could you like what does your like intuition tell you?
My intuition tells me yeah. I do want a master's degree in some kind of art, and I maybe like photography. I don't know, but yeah, I think master's degree is definitely in play. Cool. But not even just because I want a master's degree. That is a part of it, I guess.
Yeah, like the flex.
But I think another part of it is just I want to know what super interesting, cool people like have to say.
Yeah, that's where you meet them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like a unique thing for our area of the woods, kind of.
Yeah, I want to hear like what the smartest people who know everything about everything. I want to know what they have to say.
Or like what some interesting people in your class think about photography.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because that's just as interesting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that was more of what I was referring to. Like the classmates. It's more of what I'd be looking into.
Because that, I would say, even though we've met awesome people and we've worked with great people and we've only done so much in DMP just based off of like what we've done, but just based off of where we live in the world and based off of like the newness of the program and the smallness of the school and stuff, there's only so much creative collaboration that can happen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I kind of feel the same way. Like if I think as a creator, like collaborating is so important, just to be able to like bounce ideas off of and talk about cameras and stuff. You know what I mean? And so just that, like if going back to school means just that, like that to me is a dub. Yeah. And I've thought about that too, What does my intuition tell me? I don't think I know, but who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. It's a good time. Just declare your major and do cool stuff.
Right.
That's pretty much it. Caddy Corner episode 90, ladies and gentlemen.
Boom.
Thank you guys for listening. Make sure to check everything out. It's in the description, rate, review the show. We do the show every Friday. Informative knowledge bombs, video and audio. Every Friday, like I said. Audio and video. We do Caddy Corner after hours where we talk about whatever we want to talk about for as long as we want to talk about it. Laid back, kickback vibes, audio only. I'm Austin. He's Caleb, and we'll see you all next week with the Christmas special. Peace.